Welcome to the ultimate cartoon movie hub. From timeless classics to the latest hits, we bring the best of animation to your screen. Subscribe and join the fun. The story begins with Moana running on the island, playing with Hey and the other animals. She keeps watching the ocean and says that surely there are other people living in different places. She has a passion for leaving that place to search for people in new places and get to know them. While she's talking, she slips and falls to the ground in a spot in the forest, where she finds an old pottery with a strange symbol and a drawing of the island's people. She takes it and returns to her village immediately and shows it to her father. Everyone is happy that Moana is back because she brought food with her. They keep greeting her, especially her little sister Samia, who runs to her and says she wishes to be with her on one of her adventures and take her with her, like Maui. Moana tells her that her adventure with Maui was once and it's over. She is now with them and has no intention of going on adventures, except that she wants to discover the people of the island she was on, especially after seeing the pottery and the drawing on it, because there must have been people on this island before. On the other side, we see Maui, who has the ability to transform into anything using his magical hook. He is reaching a deserted place in the ocean, searching for an old wizard named Nalo. But Nalo's assistant, who is also a witch, keeps telling him she doesn't want him alone and that she wants Moana with him. He tells her that this matter is between him and Nalo, and that Moana has nothing to do with it. She tells him she will force him to bring Moana here because they both need to be together. He gets angry and uses his magical hook to attack her. Meanwhile, we see Moana in the village, dancing and celebrating with everyone. Her father comes and tells her that today will not be just ordinary celebrations. He informs her that there was a title taken by one of the tribe members every title period, called the Great Guide, which is much stronger for them than the title of leader or chief. He tells her that this is the first title they have received in about 1,000 years, so they offer her to be their guide. Moana feels proud, as it is a great honor for her because everyone trusts her. They start immediately performing the rituals to appoint Moana as the tribe's guide. She keeps telling them she is happy with this honor and that they trust her, and she hopes to bring them peace and comfort always. They respond by wishing the ancestors guide her to the right path. Suddenly, while they are talking, there is an explosion and lightning in the sky. The lightning strikes Moana, and suddenly she finds herself in the ocean during a very strong storm, not knowing what to do or how to escape it. She keeps trying to get out with the boat until she finds herself on an island. One of the ancestors speaks to her, telling her that this is her destiny and she must face it. He informs her that finding the heart of Haihei and returning it was just the beginning, but this time she needs to challenge the storm and restore the connection between their people. He tells her to search for Mucho Vicho, saying she doesn't know how to do it. He tells her that a fire will appear to guide her to the path and then transforms into a giant turtle, diving back into the ocean, telling her to search for the island. Suddenly, this vision ends, and Moana insists she must find Mucho Vicho by any means. When she asks the villagers what they know about this island, they tell her it is an ancient island that used to connect peoples together until a curse befell it, causing it to disappear completely. The one who did this was a very powerful wizard named Nalo, who wanted to destroy their people, starting with the island of Mucho Vicho. If she manages to bring back the island, she will be able to restore the connection between all the peoples. While they are talking, they are surprised by a noise coming from outside, so they rush to see what is happening. Moana sees a fire in the sky in the shape of a moving meteor, realizing this is the sign, and her mission has begun. She says she must follow it to find the island. When she goes to the sea to think for a while, her grandmother's spirit appears to her, telling her she must follow her heart, fulfill her destiny, and search for the island. The next morning, Moana starts preparing to begin her journey. She says that no one will help her except Maui. She sees a painting of him on the wall and starts talking to him. When she removes the painting, she finds a villager named Mooney, who loves Maui very much and sees him as a legend. Moana tells him he can come with her if he wants because she will search for Maui. He is thrilled and agrees. After a while, she goes to meet her little sister, who is also determined to go with her. But of course, Moana refuses, saying she would worry about her. However, she tells her that when the mission is over, she will take her with her. Afterward, she goes to the sea to set off, and her father tells her to take people with her on this journey because Mooney alone won't be enough. She agrees, and they all set off on the boat. Meanwhile, Maui is tied up, and his hook is far from him. He keeps talking to the witch, telling her he is confident he will find a way out, but she tells him she won't let him move until Moana arrives. We return to Moana once again, who is with her friends in the water, telling them that the ocean is her friend and that they must also feel like friends of the ocean so it won't harm any of them. They are very excited to find the island and are sure they will succeed in this journey until they are surprised to see an island ahead of them, which is a giant sea creature with creatures on it. They throw their ropes to catch Moana's boat and pull it towards them, attacking them with arrows until they manage to pull the entire boat towards them. There, they attack Moana and her crew, managing to sedate them all. After a while, these creatures appear, and as soon as they see Moana, they recognize her because they dealt with her before in the previous adventure and treat her like royalty, forming themselves into a throne for her to sit on. They also wake her and her crew up and decide to help her get out of this place and past the giant sea creature. Initially, it's not easy, and the boat's rope breaks, but Moana runs quickly, holding onto the rope with all her strength until they pass. However, the problem is that the waves crash against the boat, causing them all to fall, finding themselves in a strange place like an underwater cave. The problem is they search for Moana and discover she is not with them, realizing they have fallen into a different place than where Moana fell. Suddenly, a creature appears in front of them and it is very large. As soon as it sees them, it tries to attack them, but they shoot it with an arrow that lands in its mouth. This causes it to release a blue substance resembling acid, which corrodes the ground beneath them, making them fall again. They find Maui's hook, and Maui tells them he had been trying to get out of this place for a while. Luckily, he came to witness this historic moment and catch up from the beginning. Maui grabs a rope, throws it at his hook, and manages to retrieve it immediately. He transforms into a small insect to untie the chains binding them and tells them he will leave, warning them that there is a witch in this place. If they see her, they should run because she is dangerous and could finish them off. Before leaving, he sees the chicken and realizes they are Moana's friends. Moana wakes up and finds herself in an empty and strange place, seeing her younger sister in front of her. When she talks to her, she learns that this is not her sister but a bat under a spell to look exactly like her sister. Suddenly, a large number of bats appear, followed by the witch who welcomes Moana and tells her she has been waiting for her for a long time. The witch claims to be the guardian of this entire place and invites Moana to come with her to fulfill her destiny. Moana tells her she doesn't know her to go with her, but the witch says if she wants to break the curse of Nalu and find the lost island, she should follow her. Moana asks what the witch will gain from helping her, and the witch surprises her by saying that Nalu imprisoned her here, and she will never be able to leave. If Moana and Maui can defeat Nalu, she will gain her freedom and live wherever she wants. The witch reveals she planned all this to kidnap Maui early on and bring them together to make it easier for them to start their mission. She indeed takes Moana with her, and they enter through a gate. Moana stands at a large gate with two sides, and Maui stands on the other side. The witch asks them to strike the gate from their respective sides. When they do, the gate opens, and Maui descends, while the witch continues to talk to Moana, telling her that the fate of her entire people and her own fate are in her hands. When Moana descends, the witch tells one of her bats that if Nalu finds out, he will finish her with a single lightning strike, but at least she is trying to gain her freedom. After a while, we see Moana and Maui meeting on Moana's boat. Moana is very happy to see Maui again and tells him that he and the ocean are her closest friends. He responds that he is also happy to see her, but asks her to forget that the ocean is her friend because they have now crossed the gate and are in a new place, different from the ocean they know. They don't know what might happen to them. They continue sailing for a while, and everything goes smoothly until suddenly, a huge sea monster appears. Maui tells them not to be afraid because this is Nalu's way of welcoming them. He starts using his hook to transform and attack the monster, which keeps hitting the boat, causing strong tremors that make Mooney fall into the water. Everyone struggles to stand, but Maui reassures them that he can handle the monster. He transforms, dives into the water, and after a while, emerges holding Moana, telling them not to worry because they are now safe. They then reach an island and rest there for a while to recover from what happened. Moana sits alone, feeling the weight of many people depending on her and fearing she might not be up to the responsibility. Maui talks to her, expressing confidence that she can achieve what they want, just as she succeeded last time in doing something no one believed a human could do. He keeps telling her that she changed his life completely, and before meeting her, he never had feelings for anything in the world. But after knowing her, he now fears for her and wants to encourage her, saying that if she can make such a change in him, she can do anything in the world. He encourages her until she gets excited, telling him that together they can stop Nalu's curse. She then checks on Mooney and the others with her, telling them that Maui will make the plan and they all need to follow his instructions. Maui tells them they will continue on the same path until they reach Nalu's storm, where they will find the island underwater. He will be responsible for raising the island to the surface again. He tells them to run to it as soon as he does, because the curse will break once a human from the people who used to live on the island touches it. And since they are descendants of those people, they can break the curse by touching the island. Moana tells them that this might be difficult and not as easy as it sounds. When she looks at her companions, she is surprised to see them all excited, and Moana keeps saying that he has spent his whole life listening to stories of ancestors and their heroics. Even if he dies, it won't matter because his name will be written alongside theirs, and he will be considered a hero. This reassures Moana that they are all excited and ready for the tasks. They immediately set sail and head towards the storm, which is so strong that they cannot approach it. However, Maui starts moving and tells them he will handle it. He transforms into an eagle and tries to get close to the storm, but it's difficult. So he becomes a large fish and dives into the water to attack the storm from below. He keeps switching between his true form, the eagle, and the whale until he gets close to the storm, but he is surprised when he finds that the storm is not attacking him. When he returns to the boat, Moana tells him she understands now that the storm wants them, not him. She suggests they can use this to distract Nalu and make him direct the storm towards them, giving Maui a chance to pull the island. She starts telling her companions that there has been a slight change in the plan and asks them to change the boat's direction, which they do. Meanwhile, Maui moves, transforms, and approaches the storm, which indeed starts moving towards Moana and her companions. As soon as there is an opening for Maui, he throws his hook into the water, attaches it to the island, and begins to pull it up. The task is not easy at first, but after several attempts, the island starts to rise with him. However, the problem is that at this moment, Nalu uses lightning to strike Maui, causing him to fall into the water and lose consciousness. Nalu then begins to attack them all with lightning. Meanwhile, Moana, not afraid, she says the most important thing is to save Maui. She throws herself into the water to get him out, and she actually does it. She goes to Maui, pulls him onto the boat, and then Nalu starts increasing the lightning attacks on them. But Moana keeps swimming until she reaches a very deep part of the water, touches the island, and suddenly the whole ocean lights up, the sun rises, and the storm completely disappears. Maui wakes up at that moment and looks for Moana. When he finds out what she did, he decides to go down and look for her himself, and he actually goes into the water. He is surprised to find her completely unconscious, and he tries in every way to revive her, but she doesn't respond. At that moment, he asks for help from the ancestors and tells them that Moana did what no human could do. He keeps calling out to them until all the spirits appear, and they unite to revive Moana and give her a magical bracelet in honor of what she did. Immediately after, Maui flies and pulls the island out of the water with ease, restoring everything to how it was. The island begins to reform in its beautiful shape. They all rush to the island, amazed by it and its appearance. They also see boats approaching, realizing they are from the same lineage of people who once inhabited this island and are coming to live here. Moana tells them that she was able to unite all the people together and succeeded in her mission. To fulfill her promise to her little sister, she has Maui fly to her island and bring Samia to see the island. After they finish everything, Moana returns to her island, and her people celebrate her, saying she deserves the title of guide. They are all happy and celebrating, and thus ends today's story. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification button so you never miss an updates. See you in the next video.